Hey geeks, I'm here with Kellen, and we just watched episode 5 of X-Men 97. So if you haven't seen it yet, now's the time to scroll on past because we are going to be full of details that are going to spoil it for you. So now's your chance. Scroll on by. Still here? All right. Here's what we liked. What did you like best about this episode?
I like how Magneto sacrificed himself to save all these mutants, and how he trapped Rogue and Gambit in there to save them and keep them from getting hurt. And then I like how Gambit got really mad about that, that Magneto's gone. And so what he did was I thought he was gonna go full X mode on him, X Games mode on him. And then he got stabbed. I was like,
what?
No. How?
What is this, Game of Thrones? What are you doing? I know, it was crazy.
It was about to be an awesome moment. And then that starts lighting up the knife thing, and then he goes, "My name's Gambit. Remember it." And then the whole Sentinel lights up and just goes...
So cool. So cool, but I cannot believe that he's dead. That is crazy. And Magneto is too, because the Sentinel said, threat eliminated.
Yeah.
So, pretty crazy stuff. A pretty amazing episode. I also liked the part where Scott Summers is having an emotional affair with Madeline Pryor because she's the mother of his child, and that's driving a wedge between Jean and Scott. So that's interesting, and I loved the interview and how Scott begins to get upset about the idea that they are taken for granted, and he really becomes more of the Cyclops that we know in more modern-day comics, where he's really a lot more of a renegade than he is like a Boy Scout. And so we're seeing that. He's a lot more like Magneto, really, honestly. So that's pretty cool. And other things that were cool was when Magneto, remember, whipped the Sentinel with the monorail. That was super cool.
But the funniest part was just slow. It was in slow motion, and the Sentinel's just staring at it.
Yeah.
It's coming towards him.
Right at him. Yeah, it was cool. And all the cameos, right?
Yeah.
Who was your favorite cameo?
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was pretty awesome. Yeah, and you haven't seen the episode in the original series with Nightcrawler, so it was the first time you saw him in this animated style.
Yeah.
So that was cool. You saw Archangel, White Queen was there, Banshee, Exodus, Pixie, that pink gelatin guy where you can see his skeleton. I don't know what his name is. I'm sure you guys remember or even know more of the mutants that were the Easter eggs in there. So if you know what they are, please put them in the comments so that we all can enjoy that knowledge together.
Well, there was Leech too.
Oh yeah, Leech was cool, and it was cool how Magneto kept his promise to Leech and saved even the least of the mutants, as the Morlocks are commonly viewed as. So it was maybe the best X-Men episode period in all of the series. Not just this series, but all of the X-Men series.
But I can't say that because I haven't finished the series.
That's true. So, summer school?
Yeah,
summer school. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I think that's a win. That's a win-win. Best summer school ever.
Yeah.
Xavier's school of summer. But here's my theory about what's going to happen next. So if you don't want to know what that is, if you're like my wife who says to me, Jason, I don't want to know what your theory is because then if you're right, I'm going to be super annoyed. And I was like, well, yeah, but how am I supposed to prove to you how smart I am? Anyway, if you're like Emily, scroll on past because I'm going to tell you what my theory is going forward. So, it starts with my theory about what Cable says about who's behind the attack. He mentions he or him. So I think he's talking about Apocalypse. I mean, that's his big bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's who's behind the giant Sentinel attack. And it makes sense because it's going to drive the conflict between these two entities, and it might lead to that Age of Apocalypse that he wants. So I think that the series is going to continue on in that trajectory of a storyline. Gambit's dead, Magneto's dead, all these mutants are dead. It's a genocide, right? And that's going to be the major conflict as we go forward. You're going to have people who are disillusioned, who are angry. It's going to make for some good storytelling. But I think that either at the end of this season or the beginning of next, or maybe both with a cliffhanger in between, Cable is going to once again go back and this time be successful in saving the day. The music was some sort of key. We couldn't really figure out what that was, but he's going to figure it out this time and be able to save everything, and then the trajectory is going to continue in a different direction. We'll get Magneto back, we'll get Gambit back, and whoever else. I mean, they didn't even tell us everybody who died.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. So that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and fly that geek flag high. Also, tell us your theories. Tell us your opinions about episode 5 of X-Men 97 by putting them in the comments or stitching this video. Peace out.